Yo, what is up guys, and welcome to my review of Fortlife made by Bendy Gamer. His link will be in the description and the pinned comment, or I'll have him as the pinned comment if he comments on this. Now, I'm going to be going over terrain, mechanics and stuff, and let's get into this. So I'm going to go over POIs, terrain, mechanics, and a new system, what I would change. So we're going over POIs first, and I gotta say, one of the worst POIs on the map, like the worst POI in my opinion, Godly Guns. It's a single building. It has that barrier. I think you're supposed to get guns from it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it. In my opinion, 1 out of 10 POI. No hate to Benny, but 1 out of 10 POI in my opinion. Now next POI. Alright, and the next worst POI in my opinion has got to be Snowy Sounds. It's just a couple like snow terrain. It looks kind of weird and out of place, and I gotta say, like I said no hate before, some pieces like props inside are stretched out, which it does look pretty weird. I'd say a 3 out of 10. It's a nice little hamlet, snow village, but then again, it's not the best. And I'll be ranking this POI. Alright, and the next POI is Royal Rocks. In my opinion, pretty bad POI. Has the same issues as Snowy Sounds. It's just like a randomly placed sand biome, and it's just a single castle, which I know Jackus has done that, and it was a good castle, but like, I mean, I just don't really like how weird the sand biome kind of looks. Like, no hate to Bendy, but it's kind of weird. I said snow, I mean sand. If I said snow, I mean sand. Next POI. Next POI. Now these next POIs, I would say, are more mediocre POIs. So next we have Primal Pond. I forgot to give Royal Rocks rating. Royal Rocks 5 out of 10. Primal Pond, it's a smaller POI, but it's above Royal Rocks, mainly because it has Primal chest. Primal, I love Season 6 Primal. I absolutely loved it, so it's getting a 6 out of 10. Now the next mediocre POI in my opinion has got to be Community Crossroads. No hate to whoever built these buildings, but I mean, it's kind of a weird POI. Like, there's no other roads on the map. It's just, and there's no sidewalks. It's just like a big square road. There's 3 buildings. I mean, like the buildings are alright. I especially like the softies one, but it's just kind of weird to randomly have a crossroads POI there without any roads connected. So I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next POI. Alright, and now we're out of more of the mediocre POIs, and we're getting into some of my favorite POIs. I believe this is Mystical Mushroom. Mystic Mushroom, correct me on screen, future me. But this, I mean, it's just a couple mushrooms. It used to be a different POI. I forgot the name of it last season, season 5. But now there's brown mushrooms. I like the brown mushrooms one. And honestly, I don't think I would land here if I was playing with people, because like, there's no build, there's no chest, and you just get swarmed by zombies. But I do like the aesthetic of the POI. I don't know why I struggle with that. So it's getting a 7.5 out of 10 for me. Alright, the next POI is Wild Waters. Now, you might be wondering, why is this one better than Mr. Mushrooms? I like this one because a Western themed pool POI. Who would have thought of that? I really like it. So, it's definitely an 8 out of 10, but criticism I do have to give it the POI is the bottom layers are just completely empty with like chests and stuff, and I would like add props, add some walls, or make it unable to get down there. But honestly, 8 out of 10 POI. Alright, and here's another 8 out of 10 POI in my opinion. Dumpling Domain, which used to be Drifter's Domain, which if you notice on screen, it's actually still showing as Drifter's Domain. I'm pretty sure it's Dumpling's Domain, but correct me if I'm wrong, future me, again, correct me. I mean, it's a mediocre POI. I mean, the dumpling building is the only really reason it's called Dumpling Domain, and there's no interior on the 2nd floor. Alright, now another 8 out of 10 POI in my opinion. Future Factory. It would be better, but it's a single building with a couple props inside of it, but I just love the way it looks. I like the 0 point thing inside of it, a bunch of the tables, and there's a bed under there, and the mushrooms covering inside. I really like. So 8 out of 10 on this POI. Now, I can't remember the name of this POI. I'll have to ask future me to do that. But this is a solid POI. It reminds me a lot of the corruption biome in Junior Royale, which I love the corruption biome in Junior Royale. And I like the floating island, so it's kind of like Fortnite Season 6 and Season X. So honestly, 8.5 out of 10 POI. Some areas are alright, but this POI, like the floating parts, are my favorite parts of the area. Alright, here is a 9 out of 10 POI in my opinion, which is the second to last ratings. Arid artillery. I love the aesthetic of a military base in a sand biome. I love the interior. It looks good. It's pretty simple, but it's still really good. 9.5 out of 10. Alright, hands down, in my opinion, Bobley's Bastion is the best POI in Fortlife. Now, it's a 9.5 out of 10, not a 10 out of 10, but a 9.5 out of 10. I don't think I've ever given a POI a 10 out of 10 rating, but this POI is amazing. You know what? 9 out of 10 for Arid Artillery, 9.5 out of 10 for this. This deserves its own slot in that. This POI is amazing. There's the trees that are kind of weird, but that makes it even more unique. 9.5 out of 10. I'm gonna go on to terrain, then mechanics, then what I would change about the map. Now this is on Shoreline Island. For this, so this is the terrain section. It's on Shoreline Island. There's some parts of terrain like sand biomes, arid area, there's really weird construction area. But I mean, it doesn't really help. It's still kind of flat, but he does do a pretty good job of covering it up. So terrain gets a 5 out of 10 for me. So going over mechanics, we have this like cube capture zone, which gives you a mythic cube minigun sometimes. So my opinion on this, I would change it to just like one minigun and some heals, because you get like 3 miniguns from it, and there's no like trios mode, so that's kind of weird. And then there's also the tornado you can see in the background. You shoot up through it like in Fortnite, and then there's custom loot pool, the thing of godly guns, and then the crafting. So honestly, some really unique mechanics, except for the capture zone and loot pool. But the crafting system and the tornado bumps it up to a 7.5 out of 10 for mechanics. Now, what would I change, which is the last category? I would personally change some of like the interiors, because like right now, Wild Waters below, it's empty. Some chest placements are kind of weird. Loot pool feels like kind of goofy and random in my opinion. No hate on the loot pool, Bendy. No hate to you. No hate to you. Don't want to sound like I'm hating on you. I mean, yeah. And then next, if there is another map of Fortlife or whatever next BR, I would love to see custom terrain BR. I'm pretty sure most people would, but I do like what you've done with the Shoreline Island. Honestly, those are only things I really want to change. I say Bendy's done a pretty good job with this, and that's the end of the review. I give the map a 7 out of 10. Its code will be in the description, and then Bendy's comment should be pinned if he doesn't comment on it. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.